Hi everyone, it's a nice gloomy day, so today I am going to make some comfort food. And who doesn't love grilled cheese and tomato soup? Well, I'm going to make homemade tomato soup, so I thought I'd share that with you today. I got all my supplies already cut up because I'm not the best at cutting them. It's not pretty when I do it, but it works. But first we're going to turn our stove on, and I'm going to use a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to pour a little olive oil in my little pot here. And as soon as that warms up, I'm going to put in, I did a small red onion. It doesn't matter how big or small you cut them, because when this is all done, I'm actually going to blend it up in the blender to make it nice and smooth. I don't think I've ever had, well, I've never had tomato soup until about a few weeks ago. So, but I can't imagine having chunky tomato soup. So, like I said, we're going to cook all of this stuff up and then blend it in the blender to make it nice and smooth. So I've tried to prep stuff. So I have the onions and the garlic, and then we're going to use a half a cup of chicken broth. And we're going to use crushed tomatoes. And I got these because it's clean ingredients. It's just tomatoes, salt, and citric acid. So the thing to check is, I don't know how many of you read your labels, but it's crazy all the stuff that they put in our food. So that is another part of my health journey, is I want to try to use cleaner products so that I don't feel like, you know, they're killing me. Probably shouldn't say it that way, but anywho. So we're going to let the onions saute, which should take a couple minutes. And then I'm going to make, also, like I said, I'm going to make some grilled cheese. And I have this sourdough, Hawaiian sourdough bread from Walmart, which is my new favorite for making grilled cheese. I don't know if you've had it. Unfortunately, I went back this past week to get some more because, as you see, I don't have much left. And they didn't have any, so I was very disappointed. And I'm not a big bread lover, but this is delicious. So it makes the best grilled cheese sandwiches. So I'm going to put you on hold for a minute while these onions start cooking, because it's taking a little bit for it to warm up. So I'll be back in a second. All right, so our onions are cooking up. They're looking awful nice. And then we are going to add the 3 cloves of garlic. And let that cook for a minute. Let the garlic cook in there. Next time, I'll actually try to make the tomato soup completely from scratch with the actual tomatoes, but today I am too hungry to wait that long. So we're going to do the crushed canned tomatoes. So after you let your garlic cook for a minute or two until you can smell it, which it smells delightful, then you're going to add your crushed tomatoes carefully. Hopefully I can, there we go. I did it with just a little bit of spillage, but could have been a lot worse. We're going to add that, and we're going to add our chicken broth. We're going to stir that up until it's all incorporated. And then I'm going to sit it on the back burner so it can simmer for about 15-20 minutes to let all the flavors seep in. We're going to add a little salt and pepper. do that to taste. So once everything's incorporated, I'll sample a little bit to make sure it's got enough seasoning in there for me. I'll stir that up. And then we're going to stick that on the back burner and cover it up so that it can simmer. I'll turn that front burner down, and then we're going to get the grilled cheese together. So of course I got my 2 loaves of bread. Sorry if you can't see it. And then I'm going to use sharp cheddar cheese and pepper jack cheese, because that's just what I like. You can use whatever cheese you want, but these are my favorite. So I'm just gonna actually do 2 slices of each. And I'll trim it down just a little bit because I don't want it to get all over the skillet as it's cooking. But it is the best grilled cheese, I'm telling you. So what is your favorite kind of grilled cheese sandwiches? Do you do the tomato soup? Do you dunk? Do you just eat the soup by itself? And then I just spread the butter on my bread before I put it in the pan. I don't know why. I just have always done it this way. It just feels like it's easier, but I could be mistaken. It might be easier the other way, but I like doing it this way, so I'll just continue. There we go. Get my skillet here. And then I'll just butter the top side. All right. I'm just gonna let that cook up a little bit. And I am going to make it a self-care day because, like I said, it's rainy and gloomy out. So while that's cooking, I'm going to go put on a facial mask that I got for Valentine's Day. It's got butterflies on it, so it should be really cute. So I'll be back in a minute. All right, well, I did the mask. I don't know if it's me or the mask, but it made me feel like my face was super huge because it did not fit on me the way it should have. So I took it off, but my face does feel moisturized now. Now isn't that beautiful? I'll let that other side cook and the cheese melt. I don't know, so the mask and I did not get along well. Maybe I'll have to try a different kind, I don't know. It's for another day. Well, the soup has been simmering. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the blender to get the chunks out. I know that sounds terrible. I am gonna taste a little bit. So they did say that you could add sugar, a pinch of sugar to it. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm gonna add just a little bit of sugar. And then I think I'm gonna add a little bit of basil to it. Just a little Italian flair. see big chunks of onion because, again, I'm not the best chopper. If I had a lot of time, I could, you know, make it chopped up nice and small and fine. But again, I'm hungry, so I don't want to spend all that time doing that. Better. All right. So, here comes the fun. Whoops, sorry. Pouring this in here. Oh my gosh. I do not see that ending well. Let me scoop some out. Oh well, we're just gonna try it. Well, how about that? I did better than I thought. Only a little spill. And then as my stove sizzles from the spilled tomatoes. All right, I'm gonna pause this so that I can blend it so you don't have to hear the loud noise. All right, so it's all blended. I'm gonna pour it back in the pan, keep it warm while I wait on my grilled cheese. And then the cleanup will be later after I eat. Yeah, that's nice and smooth now. Let's check our grilled cheese sandwich. Almost ready. Time to get a bowl. I'm going to try to be fancy today. In the recipe that I saw for this tomato soup, they drizzled a little sour cream on top, so I'm going to try to do a little of that. So we'll see. I don't know how pretty that's going to be, but I'm just going to pour some of this tomato soup. I don't think this, well, we'll just do a little dollop of sour cream in the middle just to make it fun. And I think I'll do a sprinkle bay leaves on the top. Trying to be fancy like I'm in a restaurant. Turn everything off. And look at that grilled cheese sandwich. Lunchtime. All right. Thanks for watching. Happy lunch. Bye.